Okay, thank you for everyone hanging out with me right now. I want to talk about E3 2020. I want to talk about PlayStation, the news that came out today that PlayStation will not be returning to E3 in 2020. Even with a hardware reveal for the PlayStation 5, they did not see the value in coming back to the convention center, and they're going to do something else. And, they had the politically correct, I got the game industry .biz article up behind me, but, politically correct statement. Hey, this is a wonderful show, blah, 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 but we don't think it's going to fit our direction moving forward. So, it is what it is. And the writing's been on the wall for a while with regards to this. I believe I really kind of started talking about this back in 2016, just looking at the writing on the wall and the way the E3 was starting to change. And obviously in 2017, we saw them introduce the public, which I've been very vocal about that I thought was a huge mistake. We also saw that EA left. God, EA left. Is it almost 5 years now? I think this is year 5. So they would have left back in 2015, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly. But EA was the first one to go. They left. They went to Hollywood to do EA Play. We saw Activision start to kind of be a little wishy-washy. If they had like a couple big games to show, maybe they do a booth. If they did not, they would just simply do meeting rooms, right? And then when did Microsoft leave? Was it 2018 the first year? I think 2018 was the first year. 2018, Microsoft conveniently went across the street over to the Microsoft Theater, and that's where they started to hold all their business. They would obviously do their media briefing there. They would do their media showcase there. They would do interviews there. They'd have Fan Fest there. A lot of the hands-on with everything was over there across the street, not in the actual LA Convention Center. This obviously continued into 2019, where Microsoft, once again, across the street, EA in Hollywood, Activision, meeting room, PlayStation decided to not show up at all. And a lot of people saw PlayStation not showing up last year. It's like, well, they don't really have a lot to show. They tried the crazy safari jungle thing that they did like with The Last of Us 2 in the church in 2018. And it was like, maybe they figured that didn't work out too well, so they were skipping 2019, right? But even then, I was like, this isn't good. Matter of fact, I did a video with my good friend Andrew Alliance over at the show radio. He just pulled up the old YouTube video and showed me earlier where we're out in front of West Hall. That first night, it was the first day of E3. It was actually that Monday before E3. And I'd even said it then. I was like, I don't think Sony's coming back. And it turns out that I'm right. They're not coming back. And where's the value? Where's the return on investment for any of these major publishers to continue to be at the LA Convention Center? So my thought for years had been that with the rise of things like PlayStation Experience, obviously now Xbox is brought back XO, that Nintendo was doing these Nintendo Directs, that you don't need E3 to talk to your consumers anymore. You can talk to them directly just due to the rise of social media, the way that streaming works, video on demand, the whole thing. So you don't need to congregate everyone in Los Angeles and put on this spectacle to talk about your new products that are coming out for the year. It just wasn't needed anymore. And obviously, like I said, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but Nintendo with Nintendo Direct, they were kind of the pioneer of all this. But here we are now in 2020, and I think we're at the end of E3. I think we're done. I think this will be the last E3 as we know it. It may return in name, but it will not be the show that we currently have. And I would have to do my research on it to get this, but I think they can leave LA after this year. I don't know if there was a renewal or contract or anything like that, but I think they can be done with the LA Convention Center at this point. And I think it would be best if E3, if the ESA is going to keep E3 as it is to probably leave Los Angeles and just do something different. Make it more of just a pure fan event, make it more of an esport event. I truly don't know. I really don't know what they can do to kind of fix this and make it more of a relevant show, because like I said, all PlayStation has to do is, and I know the ESA has a comment. Actually, let me see if I can scroll to that. I know they have a comment about what they did, And let's see, what did they say? The ESA's update. The ESA issued the following statement on Sony skipping E3 2020. E3 is a signature event celebrating the video game industry and showcasing the people, brands, and innovations redefining entertainment loved by billions of people around the world. E3 2020 will be an exciting, high-energy show featuring new experiences, partners, exhibitor spaces, activations, and programming that will entertain new and veteran attendees alike. Exhibitor interest in our new activations is gaining the attention of brands that view E3 as a key opportunity to connect with video game fans worldwide. Here's the question I have. Who the hell are these people that are excited to be at E3? Who are these activations that are coming? I want to know, because it sure as hell ain't EA. It sure as hell ain't PlayStation. It sure as hell ain't Activision. It sure as hell ain't Microsoft. Nintendo? Maybe. Probably not. So who are we talking about here? Is ColecoVision coming back? Or are we doing the Atari VCS? Are they going to have a booth? What are we doing? So I don't know. I think that's a lot of public relations speak to see that come out now with this news about PlayStation. And like I said, I had said years ago that once PlayStation or Microsoft left E3, it was a wrap. And now they're both gone. Microsoft they got a pinky toe in there. Like, they'll put a mixer booth around LA Live and have a couple things in the convention center, but they just so happen to be across the street at the same time that E3 is going because they know everyone's there. But other than that, they're gone. And obviously PlayStation is gone. I joked around earlier online that it would not shock me if Sony rented out the Shrine Auditorium for the week of E3 and just did everything over there for the week. And all of us are going to go over there. They can make it a PlayStation experience kind of thing. All the fans are going to go and they can do their thing. Why not? You know what I mean? So this is where we are. You don't need to be in that week in Los Angeles to be able to talk to, see, this is my kids. This is how they do. They know I'm in here streaming and they're being loud as hell, but I'm going to keep doing it. They don't need to be there that week of E3. They can do a PlayStation Experience event anywhere in the world, really. And the media is going to cover it. There's going to be fans in that region that are going to attend. They can make all their announcements, be it hardware, software, whatever the case may be. We're all going to talk about it on social media. It's going to make headlines. And when November 2020 rolls around, PlayStation 5s will fly off the shelves. Whatever games they have will fly off the shelves. That's all they need to do. They don't need Los Angeles. They don't need the ESA. They do not need to be in the LA Convention Center. And it's just a sign of the times. I don't think it's look, the ESA is not perfect because really I'm still waiting. They're putting out this thing, but what about the data breach? Tell me about why I'm getting calls at 3 o'clock in the morning because you gave out my private information. We've yet to get a clarification on that. So I would really love to see something about that, but you know how that works. So we're probably not going to get anything except, again, PR speak about that as well. But the bottom line is this. We have E3 2020 this year. Microsoft kind of sort of there. 2K, Bethesda, the rest, Ubisoft, they're going to be there. I get that. So I'm just treating this as the last ride, really, where I'm going to go. The reason that I've loved to go to E3 the past few years isn't necessarily to cover the event. It's to see all my friends and people in the industry that I respect and be able to hang out with them. Like I was talking on Gamertag Radio earlier today that, when I went to the Game Awards and it was almost like a mini E3 over at the JW because all the industry people were at the JW, we're having drinks, having conversations, the whole thing. That's the thing about E3 that I love. And that would be the thing about E3 that I would miss. I had the fortunate opportunity to go to Gamescom last year for the first time in Germany. That is run way better than what the ESA is doing here with E3. And it is an event that is built to handle the public. 300,000 people go through that thing in Germany. But if you ever go to Gamescom and see the size of it, it can handle it. I got to see it in action. And they have it separated so you have your business area. So, the media, we can go up there, go all our meeting rooms, get all our interviews, see all the new products, and we're fine. And it works out well, where the public gets their thing to do, the media gets their thing to do, and we're separated in that way, and they got the traffic flows worked out and all that. It was really slick. I really had a great time at Gamescom, and it opened my eyes as to how these kind of events probably should happen. Now, back here in the United States, which is the other reason we don't really need E3, they tried to put the public in there. That didn't work. You want to know why it didn't work? Because you have PAX East, you have PAX West, you have PAX South, you have Comic Cons. You did not need the public at E3. That was the other mistake. If you want a public event, just go to PAX, right? Why are you trying to be another PAX? That's essentially what they tried to be the past couple of years. So, the ESA does have some fault in this for sure, but ultimately it's just a sign of the times. Again, the way that technology works now, the way that we can communicate with each other, the instant access that we have to the thing, and the fact that these companies can now talk directly to their consumer is why we have what we have now, where PlayStation is like, why am I spending millions of dollars to have floor space at the LA Convention Center when I can use that same money and hold a fan event later in the year, have all our fans there. They don't have to get media badges and do all this stuff and, public, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to do all that stuff. And instead they can just come to our event, eat food, drink up, be merry, play all the new games, see the new PlayStation 5, and everyone's just happy and smiling, and it's great. The media can still go, the media can still do interviews, PlayStation can still do a keynote. It all just makes sense. It just makes too much sense to move past the old model and try something new. Like I said, maybe E3 transforms into something else that does make more sense for either the media or retail or just simply the public. I don't know, but I think no matter what they become, they're going to have a hard time getting the major publishers to come back. Like I said, maybe they just transform into an esport event or something like that, where it becomes about competitive gaming. And yeah, now you have like I've been to the Call of Duty World League stuff, and I see how much fans get into that. Maybe they can transform E3 into something like that. I do not know. I do not have the answer. All I know is what we currently have with E3 right now does not work. Absolutely does not work. It's bittersweet though. Like I said, I've been going since 2001, when I had absolutely no business going to E3. I used to, because I work for a tech company, and I used to fudge the registration to make it seem like I was a part of a retail company, and that's how I used to get a badge to go to E3. I did that from 2001 until 2005. 2006, when I was doing Uncle Gamer Radio, was the first time I was actually able to get a media badge and go to E3 as quote unquote part of the media. And since that point, I've gone to E3 every year since, except, was it 2011 or 2012? I forget. I think it was 2012. It was whatever year I broke my foot and I literally just couldn't walk. That was the only year I did not go to E3 since 2001. So, I'll go this year. I mean, I live here in Southern California, so it's not too much of a hassle for me to attend. I will go. Like I said, we'll be excited to just see all my friends and industry people, hang out, cover what I can cover. Obviously Microsoft's going to have a big year here with the Series X and showing Halo and all that stuff. So definitely look forward to that. Let's see what all these third-party publishers, Ubisofts, the Bethesdas of the world, the 2Ks of the world, what they're going to be able to show here. Let's see what these unique new activations are going to be in the convention center. But the real reality of all of it is a lot of E3 for me the past, 3 or 4 years has been pre-E3, where what happens is these publishers, they will have pre-E3 events offsite in LA where they show off everything that they're going to show at E3. We get hands-on with it before E3 starts. We get our interviews before E3 starts, and then we're able to publish our coverage. That's been my E3 really. Like, I would say, I don't think I've spent any significant time on the actual show floor since 2017 when they first opened it up to the public, and I thought my anxiety was going to kill me because there were so many people with the public there that first day. It was just absolutely suffocating. If you go on social media, you can see I have a picture as I'm walking in West Hall, and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell am I getting myself into kind of look. My one memory from that is Deej from Bungie. I think I saw him about 300 times that E3, just walking around. It was funny. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it becomes moving forward. But like I said, I will enjoy E3 for what it currently is for at least one last time here in 2020, and just we'll just do our thing, man. We'll just do it. So, you know, it's something I knew that was coming, but it's bittersweet that it is here today and that we know it is what it is. It'll be curious to see what Sony turns their 2020 into, excuse me. Because like I said, they have options now on how they want to handle this. Are they going to do their own event? Are they going to try and do something during the week of E3? Do they, as they said, you know, kind of go on tour through various events throughout the year? Like, are they going to hit, like, here's what I think Sony's going to do. Let's do it this way. Sony, obviously, they're doing this month-long thing in New York. I think that then culminates with something similar to the PlayStation 4 reveal. Mark Cerny comes out. They kind of talk about the PlayStation 5, the hardware, the specs, what it's going to be capable of doing, have a sizzle reel of some upcoming games that potentially could be coming to it, you know, bring in a third party or two to kind of show off, you know, like a tech demo. And that'll be it for February. They won't actually show the PlayStation 5. We won't get a price, anything like that. Maybe they'll show off the DualShock 5, something like that. Then I think we get to aroundish the E3 time. So maybe mid to late May, early to mid June, they do the full, this is the PlayStation 5. Here's what it looks like. Here's how much it's going to cost. Here are the games you can expect at launch, that kind of thing. Then, yeah, take the show on the road. Gamescom, obviously, would be big for them. They would go to Gamescom. They'd have a presence at Gamescom, let people, you know, that whole thing. That makes sense. Go to PAX West. Show it off at PAX West. Maybe even slip something in there to Comic-Con here in San Diego. They could do that. Obviously, Comic-Con in New York. They could do that in October. Paris Games Week, that's still October, I believe. So they maybe potentially do something around there as well. But I do think before launch, they have a fan event, and it may coincide with the launch, which I actually think makes a lot more sense, which is also what I think Microsoft is going to do with XO20 this year. I do think XO20 and potentially a PlayStation experience is the week that hardware launches for the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, basically turning into a huge fan event. People get hands-on early. They get to play the games early. You know, Sony execs come out. They give a nice keynote. Everybody's happy, and you know they're selling. Because like I went to 0 Hour back in 2005, and that was a memorable event. So just make it something similar to that. People can actually buy the hardware there. The whole shebang-a-bang, and it's just a big celebration of PlayStation right at launch. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's happy. And think about it. You just did all of that, and you didn't set not near foot inside of E3, and that same money you probably would have spent at E3, you just reinvested it back into yourself at your own event, on your own dime, your time, your message. You're not sharing the stage with anyone. It's all about you and your partners. Just makes sense. And like I said, I fully expect at launch Microsoft to do a very similar thing with XO20. Same thing. Series X, Fan Fest come in. Everybody gets hands-on with it. Everyone playing Halo, just skinning and grinning, smiling. And, you know, Phil Spencer comes out there and does the moonwalk or something. And Major Nelson comes out with I Dream of Jeannie and come out the bottle, and everyone's happy. I just think, to me, that makes the most sense, because you spent the year getting your message out. You've priced your box. Everyone knows how much it's going to cost. Everyone's seen the games. Everyone's got hands on it. And then you end it when it launches with a celebration with your fans, with your biggest fans are from around the world. They all congregate together in one location. Just makes sense. That's the new model for these major publishers, in my opinion, because again, you don't need E3 to tell that tale anymore. So it is what it is. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all I got for what I'll put out. Put this on YouTube or something in a little bit. So I think that covers it mostly. You know, that's E3 this year. That's E3 2020. That's what I think is going to happen. I absolutely could be wrong. I would hope that I'm wrong on some of this stuff, obviously, but I do think I'm going to be right on a few other things. But it just is what it is. and we'll see what happens in June. So, you know, everyone that's checking us out live as I'm doing on the stream, thank you very much. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Leave a comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. You know, I just figured, what the hell? I'm not watching a national title game. I will hop on here and just give my direct thoughts on what I think about PlayStation leaving E3 and what that means moving forward. So this is Paris. Thank you for watching this.